Hello guys, welcome back. I wish you all a very happy new year. And from today onwards, I'll be making many videos just for you. I'll be making like 200 videos this year. So let's start from where we left things off in the session episode. In Spring Boot, there are many methods for session in Java. Let's learn some session methods in this video. We'll remove this from here first inside the session servlet, and we'll say http session hs equals to request.getSession, and that's how we cache the session object. And the next thing we'll write response.getWriter.write one of the first methods. We'll write hs.getID. This will get the ID of the session which we are gonna use. And we'll comment this out from here and here also. And the next thing, let's have another one. We say response.getWriter.write when we say hs.getCreation time. This will show the time the session got created inside our container. We'll cut this, and here we'll say new date and we'll provide the session attribute here. We'll say .toString like this. And the next thing, we'll have response.getWriter.write new date, and this time we'll have hs.getLastAccessTime, and we say .toString like this. Now let's see the output in the console. Now let's run this application. It takes quite a while to run this application, and if we don't get any errors, we can look at the console. So there aren't any errors. Let's go to the browser and check this out. We'll say localhost 8080 and this comes. And here we can press on this. We'll give some values. Actually, we don't want any values for name, grade and teacher. We'll just say save session. And wow, we got this. This is the ID of the session. This is the creation time. And this is the last access time of the session attribute. Wow, this is very fascinating. And here we can even remove our session. To remove the session, we can say hs. First we have to make a session as well. We say hs.setAttribute name and provide our name request.get parameter to this, and here we say request.get session.remove attribute instead of invalidate, and let's give the key of the name like this, and we'll have this here, and we'll comment out this response.getWriters for now, and we'll comment out this, and let's run this again. If everything's okay, we can go to the browser. We'll go back here and we'll say give a name. We'll give cal l and save the session like this, and we got actually here we have to give the name as na, and here also, and let's run this again. If everything's okay, let's go to the browser and we say calel and let's save this session, and we got our value calel from the session, and let's press on invalidate, and you can see that the remove attribute method removed the session attribute from the browser. That's how remove attribute works. And the next thing I want to show you the session timeout. We can provide the session timeout for every session inside the web.xml or the deployment descriptor. Here we say session config, and inside it we'll give the session timeout. In Tomcat the session timeout is 20 minutes. Here we'll give 15 minutes as the timeout for the session. If we run this for after 15 minutes, the session will be removed. You must remember that the session will be removed after 15 minutes after declaring this session inside our browser. So this is the session timeout config, and you can provide this to have a timeout for your session. Let's save things, and there's another way to set the timeout. We can go here, we can say hs.set max inactive interval. This will give the timeout for the session manually. We can say 15 here as well. So after 15 minutes the session will be destroyed. So after that the session won't be used inside the browser. You must remember that after 15 minutes session ends, and you must remember that in this session timeout, if we do something at 10 minutes, the session timeout will be extended again to 15 minutes again. So that's how the session timeout works. And here there's another thing I want to tell you. Here we can say, we remove this and we say $, in the display.jsp we can give the session values like this. We can say session scope, and here we can declare our value key like this. Let's run this and check if it works. If everything's alright, we can go to the browser. We'll give another name here we'll give the name as Alex Rider and press on save session. And we got our Alex Rider from this session. That's how session works. Now let's invalidate it, and we can see that the session value got destroyed. Here we can provide many methods. We can say hs dot, and there are many methods to use. There's isNew, getServletContext, attribute names, attribute, last access time, creation time, and those things. So this is how we can work with session inside our application. Now let's add some other values. We can say hs.setAttribute, and we can say grad and provide the grade for this, and we can say hs.setAttribute and say teach and provide the teach to this, and let's change things here. We'll have space and say session scope grad, and another one we'll give session scope teach. And let's run this out. We are just removing the attribute NA from this invalidate button. So let's see what will happen if we invalidate the button. Here we'll give Alex Rider grade as 56 and teacher as Snape and say save session. And we get Alex Rider 56 and Snape here. And let's invalidate this. We get only 56 and Snape after invalidating the session. No, removing the session, by removing the session. So we can use remove attribute and invalidate to end the session. So you must remember that the session ends with the session timeout, the invalidate method, and when the server is down. So these are the things about session in Java. I hope to teach you all about these things in this video. So I think you learned many things about session from these two tutorials that I taught you with. So I'll come out with another lesson another day in this year, and I'll come back soon to you and I'll teach you all something new. So till then, goodbye guys, and please take care.